happy is what happens when your dreams come true. I literally, dog, was watching the live performances on NBC of Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande performing those songs live. And I cannot tell you how gorgeous. Like, seriously, feel me right now with my sage in my hand. If you don't are watching this on YouTube or TikTok or whatever, I'm literally saging the room because today I went to a guided meditation and I just feel very like centered right now, and I just want there to be good vibes for March. Okay, I want there to be good vibes, but that being said, I am gonna put this away and then I'll talk about Ariana Grande. So Ariana Grande, literally Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo are giving us the best performances vocally live that like have ever been, and people are gonna look back on that night and those performances as like gorgeous of all time performances. My favorite performances of all time already, Cynthia Erivo is Cynthia Erivo's Ain't No Way, Durr. Cynthia Erivo's Purple Rain, Durr. Cynthia Erivo's Alfie, Durr. Like, bitch, Durr. And then Ariana Grande's live performances of Positions, literally Durr. There are nights where I start listening to that song, those live performances would come up on my feed, and I'm like, oh, I'll click it, because every time I see it, I click it. And I don't listen to anything else that whole night. I listen to those live performances over and over and over again. Because it's literally both her and Cynthia have a level of like understanding of music and like tonal, just like, I don't know, they make such glorious choices when they sing. And and they both look so gorgeous in the NBC fucking performances. I just you know what I mean? Also, I went to the movies today. I saw the movie Bride by Maggie Gyllenhaal, and I'll talk about that later as well, but I saw some trailers before the movie started, and one of them was Michael. And I'm gonna watch that movie, but do you think they're gonna touch on the pedophilia? They're not. They're literally not going to touch on the fact that Michael Jackson was literally a pedophile, which is a risky choice considering what's literally going on right now, politically, and like forefront of media right now is completely just like talking about pedophilia every single day. It's so dark, and it's literally, in my book, like, murder is not as bad as rape for me. I think rape is the worst thing you could do to a person, and pedophilia takes the cake, baby. Pedophilia truly, because it's a form of rape, obviously, but it's just like, it's literally worse than murder. It's worse than murder. It's the worst thing you could do as a human being. Like, out of everything, dog, that's worse. That's the worst, because those people have to live with that. And I think there's something to be said about, people can be abused and be the victim as well as be the perpetrator. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like with these biopics being made, like, I'm specifically talking about the Elvis one, but it also has to do with Michael Jackson. The Elvis one, I'm like, okay, but Elvis was a pretty abusive, eccentric person, and I understand this is like victimizing him because he was a victim. He was a victim, but a lot of times, almost every time, there's a perpetrator who does something terribly bad and wrong. It's because they've been abused themselves. So I'm like, I don't know. I'm just like, why do these movies have to be like, they were an angel, they were a victim, and you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, people are complex. Michael Jackson literally was a symbol of community and love and unity. I mean, he's saying we are the fucking world, bitch. Like, he's saying black or white. These are unifying timers of, like, he united the world. He spoke of love and charity. Like, I hold, like, wicked reference, I hold space for that, and also have seen the Neverland documentary, and it was completely world shattering for me. It was the first time I had seen grown straight men talking about child sexual abuse in my life. And then I saw the Oprah interview after. And obviously it was shocking because it was Michael Jackson, but it was shocking to understand how that could happen. It was shocking to see their reactions now that they were as old as Michael Jackson was at the time when they have children of their own. They're reflecting on that. It was so moving to me. And I've like remembered it, and it's honestly haunted me, but I'm so thankful that I watched it because I feel like it was such a vulnerable, life-changing thing for me to watch that I can understand. Michael Jackson was so abused. He was not a perfect angel Mother Teresa. He continued cycles of abuse that he probably went through himself, like most child predators, bitch. So I can hold space for both those things. I feel like people who can't are living in a very black and white world in which it's very gray. And I think that's interesting. I think the psychology of how people can be great people and bad people and do the worst things ever is interesting and important to observe because it's the truth. And I feel like the more we observe that gray area, the closer we'll be to like forgiveness and understanding and empathy. But what do I know, dude? People fucking like, it's crazy because Donald Trump is literally like, I saw the Epstein documentary when it came out on Netflix, so like I've known forever that Donald Trump is a pedophile and a child predator, and everything under the sun that could ever be bad, Donald Trump is. Like, literally people or his followers or whatever who are like, he didn't do that. You can't prove it. He didn't do that. I'm like, that's how people are about Michael Jackson, and I'm not trying. I am comparing the two, but in a very specific way. So please don't I'm not comparing Michael Jackson to Donald Trump, but I am saying people have the same mentality about Michael Jackson of like they worship him so much that they're like, he's not a child predator. They're lying. Well, how come this guy did that if he was abused by Michael Jackson? This kid said that he never was, so that means everyone else is lying. And people just are so intense about how Michael Jackson, as if they knew him in his personal life, was not a pedophile. And I'm just like, I don't know. I think it just is too, like, I don't know, man. It's like, I don't know, man. But I just think it's interesting. That reaction. Like, I don't know. Anyways, I want to talk about The Bride, is what I actually want to talk about. I saw The Bride, and I thought the actors gave phenomenal performances. I'm a Christian Bale girl, okay? I'm a Christian Bale girl. And I mean that with my mind, my body, my soul, my spirit. I love American Psycho. I know him, like, talking about his work in American Psycho. And through those interviews, I feel like I learned so much about him in terms of, like, how he sees women, how he sees misogyny. And it was so enlightening to see such an attractive man to me become even more and more attractive, because intellectually I'm very stimulated by him, as well as literally he's the most eye candy ass man I've ever seen, and he's so talented and he gives it his all. And in this movie, in Frankenstein, he is so thin, and it just is like he dedicates himself so hard to everything, and I think that is so admirable. He just commits, and he shows everything he does with like the same level of respect, of commitment. And I just love that he did that. And he gave a gorgeous, moving, touching performance. Jessie Buckley he was described by Maggie Gyllenhaal as an animal, and that's exactly what she is. This is like Joker, but Bride of Frankenstein. Like, it's very jokery, it's very cabaret-y, and she's like a Sally Bull / Harley Quinn, if you know what I'm saying. I will say the aesthetic of this movie was gorge. It takes place in 1930, which helped me because y'all know I don't really love period pieces that are before like 1920. Like, I don't really love that. So this took place in 1930. Aesthetically, it was great. I think the performances were terrific. I don't know if it was for me, but I will say it takes a lot of big swings, and anything that takes a big swing, I support in general. And I love that it was like an original piece, and I love that it was like taking a big swing. Like, I love that. I love original taking a big swing movies because it leads so much more creativity. That being said, I felt that it was very messy. And whatever, though. I loved Maggie Gyllenhaal's first movie, The Lost Daughter. I thought that was gorge. Once again. And Dakota Johnson, Olivia Colman gives stellar fucking performances in that. I've seen that movie twice. That movie's so good. And gorgeous. And once again, like, the costumes are great. The makeup is great. The set design is great. The aesthetic of the film and the cinematography is great. It's just like plot-wise for me, it was so all over the place, and it was not, and I don't know, I think it was really lacking in some areas. And it kind of the thing that Wicked 2 did, where Wicked 2 kept on saying over and over again, in a clock tick, in a clock tick, in a clock tick, in Wicked 2. And I was like, okay, saying something 10 times in a movie is like, it's too repetitive. And I'm like, if you had said it once at the very beginning of the movie and once at the very end of the movie, it would have been fine. Saying something twice in a film to give it more gravitas on the second time is great. But saying it more than 2 times is like, okay, girl, like, I get that you want me to know that this line is important, okay? And that's how I felt. They kept saying over and over and over again in this movie, blah, 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 but I prefer not to. I would love to be your bride, but I prefer not to, or whatever the fuck. I would like to go to sleep, but I would prefer not to. They say it like 4 times, and I'm like, and every time they were about to say that line, I knew they were going to say it. And I was just like, dude, I don't know. I don't think that's as profound as you're making it. I just don't. But I will say that it ended with the song Monster Mash, which is literally one of my favorite songs. And I love that Maggie Gyllenhaal ended it on that song because I thought that was a really quirky choice based on what the film was. Because it's like a children's song. But I thought it was cute, and I love that song. And I was walking out of the movie theater being like, he did the mash, he did the Monster Mash. And that was fun. And I liked all the dance scenes, even though they were, like, totally in there for no fucking reason at all. Literally, plot-wise, at all. I did not understand why they were dancing at all. But they were so fun, and I thought they were, like, whatever. I thought they were fun. Okay. I want to talk about something that Zara Larson said that literally changed my life. And I'm not kidding once again. But it's actually for real, because it's actually serious. So she made a TikTok about how some fan made a lighthearted comment about going to the clinic to get an abortion. I forget what the statement was, and Zara Larson commented something such as like, meet you at the clinic or whatever the fuck, like something responded back in that way. And she was talking about the reaction to that comment and how there's like, okay, obviously the people who think abortion is murder and think that if you get an abortion you deserve to rot in jail, like, it's just a completely different moral level of understanding that is so minimal. And I'm just like, it is crazy because literally, if men could get pregnant, they would be getting abortions left and right and center every day. And it would be not stigmatized, and it would literally be chill, and it would literally be like, oh, like, well, of course. Like, duh. Literally, because it is women, it is like, I cannot think of a more, like, a controlling, insane thing than having to be forced to have a child you don't want to have. I cannot think of a worse thing. And it's crazy to me that people actually think, you know what's worse than rape? You know what's worse than like murdering an adult or murdering like a human being who's actually been born? Is going to the clinic to get health care. And there's such a wide range of abortions and why women need to have abortions. Everything ranging from there's a miscarriage and she could die, to a child who there's statutory rape involved, to incest, to like there are so many reasons, all the way to, you know what, I don't want to have a kid right now. Like, there is such a range, and every single one is like, of course you should be able to choose whether or not you want to have a kid, because you know what, and the reason I've always felt this way is I'm like, literally, dog, men could leave the next day and never talk to her again and never see that child, and no one would know. And men do it all the time. Men do it all the time and have been doing it for all of history. And women have to live with that, with the consequence, and men don't. And Zara Larson said, she's talking to another group of people in this TikTok, which I'm like, I love that she's saying this. But she basically said, why is it that women have to suffer in order for abortion to be okay? Like, women have to put themselves through mental anguish, because people, she was saying, like, people are like, don't make light of abortion, or don't make light, like this is a serious topic, and while it is a serious topic because it is healthcare, people only are okay with a woman getting an abortion if she's putting herself through mental agony and she's beat up and just like in complete tragedy. And then it's okay if she goes to the abortion, if she has shame about it and it's the hardest decision she's ever had to make in her life, then the abortion's okay. And she's so right. The concept of a woman needing to suffer in order to make healthcare and an already difficult decision within and of itself, no matter how lighthearted the person feels towards that situation, it's like that to me is just another form of the patriarchy and misogyny trying to inform people's opinions. And I just am like, Zara, girl, like, you are one of the greats for me. Because she's so right. It's just like, that is so poignant, and it can apply to so many things. It can apply to how people see divorce, of like, you should suffer for years and years and years until you get a divorce. Like, some people see divorce that way. I literally am like, if you're unhappy for 2 seconds, you should break up with them and get a divorce. Because I don't believe in people choosing to suffer. That's one of the ways I see the world, is like, there is no reason that you should be like, if you have the choice, or ultimately I think everyone has a choice to a degree of choosing to be happy or choosing to be miserable. You have to choose to be happy. I know it's easier said than done, of course, but it's the truth. And so people who choose misery, I just don't see so many things through that lens of like, oh, well, this person has to suffer in order for something to be okay. I just don't ever see it that way. And so many people do. On a lighter note, though, on the other hand, something this week that's really been getting me through is I was watching a lot of like women in the Olympics like win things, and literally Olympics make me so emotional every single time I watch anything. And I don't know why, because like sports don't make me emotional. Like I literally could care less. But it's something about these people like winning something that they've been working so hard for makes me emotion every single time, dude. But I was watching women win gold medals and give speeches and all this stuff, and I realized things are awful right now, right? And I feel like people are losing hope of like this ever ending. And the thing that makes me have hope is women are statistically are more educated than men, are like going to college more than men. Women are not having children anymore and getting married. That is probably, I think, like one of, I think this is one of the most pivotal points in history in terms of that alone. I think the concept of my grandmother had children and got married. She literally met my grandfather when she was a minor still, which I don't know if I should be sharing that. That might be a little too much business, but it's the truth. It's the truth. And she had children and got married within like I don't even like I think she was like 18. You know what I mean? She was super duper young. My mom got married in her 20s, in her early 20s, mid 20s, and had a child a few years later. And but still had a child, had a marriage without even really questioning it. I would guarantee you $1,000,000 that if I was born even 10 years earlier than I was born now, I would have been married and had a kid by now. I guarantee you. But specifically this time, like I know based on my personal family and the generations of women before me, I know that this is the first time that I'm choosing to not get married and have children in my lineage of women. And that is like the most pivotal thing a person can do in their life. To have a child and have a family is one of the only things that like determines and affects your life and is a permanent decision for the rest of your life. You can never take it back. And I'm not doing that. And I'm not saying that I'm special. I'm saying I am I am relatively normal in women my age right now. And I see it. I'm not alone in this. Is just I think one of those pivotal points because I want to have my own life. I don't want to be a mother. And I don't want to be a wife, really. You know what I mean? And so I think the future is genuinely, this is such a pivotal point because women are becoming leaders and not becoming, but leadership roles are becoming more and more female led. There are more women telling stories than ever. Women are becoming more and more powerful and are overtaking men in this situation. And I know like right specifically now, men have the upper hand and politically and what's going on with like billionaires and technology and all these like all consuming things, men are at the forefront. But honey, like the people in power right now are old, girl. They're old, okay? And they're going to die out. You know what I'm saying? And I know every generation says this, but once again, I think specifically this generation is at such a pivotal point where we're choosing not to have children, and I think that is going to change so much, so many things. So that gives me hope that things are going to get better and things are like actually for real going to change the world forever in a good way. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of changing the world in a good way, I'm literally watching season 50 of Survivor. And let me tell you, I'm going back to my roots. I'm going back to little girl Maya. My mother was pregnant with me watching Survivor, okay? I've been watching Survivor every fucking year of my life, dog. So season 50, mind you, the show came out literally, I think 3 years before I was even born. I've gone back and watched the early seasons. If you don't think my first ever crush was Ozzy on Survivor, you're not thinking, because I remember watching the screen and watching Micronesia season and watching Ozzy and Amanda romance. And I remember looking at the fucking screen and thinking, I don't know what's happening, but I know I like him. That I remember that. That's a memory I have. And I was young, girl. I was young, and I literally was like, I would lick that man. I would have beautiful like ocean makeout with him. Like, I liked him a fucking lot. And so I root for him, and I always have and I always will. And you know what's crazy? When he started to do porn, I literally remember scrolling on Twitter, my jaw dropped. I was like, oh. I literally was like, gunk. And I'm seriously still speechless. I just, like, cannot believe. And I don't mean it in a bad way. I don't mean it in a good way. I mean it in a neutral way. I just was like, oh, okay. This is, like, my childhood crush is now doing porn. And I didn't watch it because I think I respect him too much to watch it. And I don't know what that says about where I'm at sexually. That, like, maybe I can only have sex with people I don't respect. I don't know. But I know, like, Ozzy to me, like, you know how Brittany Broski talks about Harry Styles and she's like, I admire him. It's not even like I love him, like I have a crush on him. Like, no, I admire him as a person. That's how I felt about Ozzy. I was like, Ozzy has just like a connection with nature and like believes in like being outside and is like a climate activist and all this stuff. And, like, I admired him for his gameplay. I felt like he had integrity in this game, in the game of Survivor. And then, obviously, he was hot as fuck, bitch. And he was great at challenges, bitch. And that was very attractive to me, bitch. Okay? I don't give up. Like, I loved him. I still do. I love him. Even watching them on season 50, I'm literally leaned over on my couch. Like, I'm literally like this, watching Survivor, and I'm like, go, Ozzy, go. I'm literally so, like, involved with this game as an Ozzy fan, and every time he's on screen, like, I'm rooting for him. I'm literally rooting for him. I don't even know if he's gonna win. Like, he's never even really come close to winning. That's not true. I think he was in, like, the final 4 once. And then he was in the final 3 once, I think. I don't know. But he's never been in, like, the finals, right? Like, the last 1 or 2. Like, being a fan of a team that never wins, it's, like, rough. But I have so much fucking content of Ozzy making out with Amanda on the show in his prime. Like, that's all I need. Like, I'm a simple girl, okay? I'm a simple girl. But yeah, I also love Mike White. I love that he came back to do the show. I think, like, literally, the fact that art has been made that has won Emmys and is so steeped into the pop culture that has so many elements of Survivor, because Mike White, I think there's so many qualities of the White Lotus that have Survivor-ness with, like, steeped within it, and is why the show is the way it is because Mike White is such a fan of Survivor. And I love that this show has affected so many other elements of creativity. Like, even Survivor's in the Billie Eilish song, like, this crap is steeped into the culture. And watching all these people from so many generations and so many seasons come back for this season is, like, I feel like it's such a privilege to watch this. You know what I mean? This is like endgame for Avengers. Like, and by the way, I watched, up until Endgame, I watched every single Marvel movie up until Endgame. Like, so I knew every single superhero. I knew every single thing that had, not every single thing, bitch, but like, I knew the plot line. So when everything was happening in Infinity War and Endgame, I was like, this was truly like, it was so serving as a fan. And that's how I feel about Survivor. I'm able to watch Survivor for the first time in a long time because my dad got Paramount Plus. And that's probably one of the best things my dad has ever done for me because now I get the joy of watching Survivor after like not watching Survivor for like 8 fucking seasons. I don't even know the last time I watched Survivor, honestly. But like I grew up watching it until I was like 18 until I left the house, and then I no longer had cable, so I no longer had access to it, so I couldn't watch it. So I guess for like the last 4 years I haven't been watching, but they do like 2 seasons a damn fucking year, so I missed like a ton of seasons. Anyways, my dad got Paramount Plus, and I just found that out, and now I can watch Survivor season 50, and I'm literally like religious again. I'm not, but I'm literally like, I am a child of God. Dude, like, oh, speaking of child of God, Mormon Wives is coming back next week, and if you don't think I'm literally gonna be there Thursday night ready to watch every single thing, I am. I cannot wait. And I don't have Instagram, so I don't follow their Instagram, so I really am gonna get like a for real update on these women, and I can't wait. I can't wait. And I really go in and out of The Bachelor, and The Bachelorette. I kind of don't even really like watching The Bachelor. I kind of like the Bachelorette because I don't really want to see a bunch of women fighting over a guy, but I do want to see a bunch of men fighting over a girl. And so I watched The Bachelorette, and maybe I think I like 110% have to watch this next Bachelorette season because that chick from Secret Lives of Mormon Wives is the Bachelorette, and I'm like, she's been through a lot. I'm not saying that she deserves love, but I also am like, they usually try to make, I don't know, they usually try to make the people that are the Bachelor, the Bachelorette seem like an angel perfect person. And Taylor, I think her name's Taylor, right? Taylor isn't perfect. She has made a lot of mistakes, and I mean, for crying out loud, she was in an orgy and swang. That's how she got famous, which was sleeping with as a married woman with other couples. Like, that is within and of itself a very controversial thing. I'm not saying I don't support. Like, girl, I'm actually happy you did that because now I get to learn about you and your life, and I have no judgment. If you want to swing, swing. That being said, like, that within and of itself is a controversial thing, and she's a bachelorette. Like, I'm sure so many men are signing up for it, but I think that's like turning a new leaf to a degree of like, now they're having people from other shows be the Bachelorette. Now they're having, you know what I mean? I don't know if that's ever happened before. But how great would it be if like an actual like celebrity, like not a reality TV star, but an actual celebrity was the Bachelor or the Bachelorette? Wouldn't that be crazy? Wouldn't that be crazy? Like, imagine, like, who's single? Imagine who's single. Like, Joe Keery as the Bachelor. He would never do that. He's, like, not the type that would even do that. But literally, bitch, I'm getting physical if that's the case. Like, they're gonna have to chain me up. If Joe Keery was the Bachelor, I would do everything I needed to do to get on that show. And if I had access to Joe Keery, they're literally gonna arrest me. They're gonna arrest me. But if I had access and he was in a suit and I was in a gown and I'm fighting, I'm playing a game show to win his love, to get that ring at the end, bitch. By the way, if it's Joe Keery, I am getting married and I am having his kids. But he's an exception. He's literally the only exception. He is the only exception. That's literally my favorite fucking song, dude. I love that song. That song was a karaoke song for me. I also have the Glee version downloaded to that because Leah Michelle does quite a number on that song. Anyways, you are the only exception. I actually once cried to that song because when I had my first boyfriend, this is so vulnerable of me, but it's the truth. When I had my first boyfriend, I always control the music in when I'm dating someone, no matter what. Like, I'm not interested in listening to your music taste. I'm only interested in when I'm in the car as a passenger princess to listen to my music, and so I always do. And that song came on, and I literally was like, oh my god, you are the only exception. And I was literally like 19. Isn't that so sweet? Oh. Isn't it kind of crazy how almost every single spider, like every single two leads, female and male lead of the Spider-Man franchises have dated each other for a long time? Isn't that crazy? Tom Holland literally married Zendaya, bitch. And I think Zendaya had their child, bitch. And that child's going to be so great. Like, what a genetic mix of Tom Holland and Zendaya. And they're going to be such good parents, dude. They're going to be such good parents. Just thinking about them. Okay. But I can't believe that. Except for Haley Steinfeld from Spider-Verse. But I'm like, Haley Steinfeld literally is married to Josh Allen, and I love them as a couple. They're one of my favorite couples, dude. I never talked about Bruno Mars' new album, and I know Harry Styles' album just came out, but I haven't listened to it yet, and I don't really know if I'm gonna listen to it, because I'm not really, like, a huge, like, I'm not, like, a Harry Styles worshiper. I kind of just listen to the hits, personally. But I did listen to the Bruno Mars album, and it's great, and Bruno Mars, literally, his music is formulaic, but it works, dude. Every single song he's ever put out in the world has been a hit. There are no sleepers on any of his albums. And that's crazy. That's crazy to have in, like, the best artists of all time, dude. Even how, like, Elvis and the Beatles and Michael Jackson made so much content that not every single person knows every single song. Like, every single person knows a song or 5 songs, but not every single person knows every single deep cut. I feel like a large population of people know every single Bruno Mars song. At least I know I do. And I didn't even think I'm, like, a huge Bruno Mars person, and I know them. Because every single album has #1 hits, like, multiple. Everything he does, he gets a Grammy for. Like, I don't know. Anyways. I talked about a lot of heavy-ass things on this episode. But I talked about it like, this is how I fucking feel, bitch. Like, this is how I fucking feel. So I'm not ashamed. I'm not gonna not say what I feel. You know what I mean? Like, this is my opinion. If you have a different opinion, you're wrong, but, like, you're valid in having that wrong opinion. But this is my opinion, and it's the right opinion, so you're gonna hear it because it's the truth and how I feel and how I've always felt. You know? Oh my gosh, I'll end on this. The Alphaba, I think her name's Lindsay Mendez. The Alphaba who did my favorite melt, I saw at a coffee shop today. She went to that I went to it separately from her, but I went to that Martha Stewart thing, and I had a gorgeous chicken sandwich. And I had a tahini honeycomb iced latte. And then I had a raspberry rose white chocolate cookie. I'm like, bitch, could you have made a better cookie that's more Maya Caress forward than a raspberry rose white chocolate cookie? My mouth is watering just thinking about it. And it was so good. It was so fucking good. Anyways, I was, like, trying to get a box for my sandwich because it was, like, a triple-decker. And it was a double-decker. The triple-decker is crazy. It was a double-decker sandwich, and I literally ate one half, and I was like, bitch, I'm about to explode, bitch. And it was just, like, a big-ass sandwich. And so I was like, hey, can I get a box? And they, like, literally would not give me a box. They kept giving me everything but a box. They gave me a bag, and then they gave me, like, an extra, like, they gave me a cup, and I was like, no, sandwich. I was like, I need a sandwich box. And they finally gave it to me, and Lindsay Mendez was like literally getting her coffee to go, and I like made eye contact with her, and I'm like, I know you're Lindsay Mendez, bitch. You have my favorite melt on Alphabet, but I did not say anything. I did not say anything, and she had a gorgeous plaid coat on, and she like went out the door, and after she left, I'm like, literally all I wanted to say was that I thought she was talented, I liked her coat, and I didn't say that, and I heard something, I heard a TikTok that said, attractive people compliment and successful people support. And that is the truth, baby. That's the truth. And I'm actually going to get that tattooed on my fucking lower back. Attractive people compliment. That's so rich. That's so rich. And successful people support. That's the truth. Happy people support. Happy people support. And all I want to do was support and compliment. And I didn't do that, and that was a lost opportunity for me to do that. But I honestly did it because I'm like, I don't want to bother her. I don't want to bother her. Like, I don't know. I don't want to bother her. You know what I mean? Like, let her just get her fucking coffee and then fucking go. Like, let her be a human being, bitch. And then I saw The Bride, and then I did a guided meditation on the Upper East Side that was gorge. And then I walked through Central Park home, and I bought a new hat, and then I took a shower listening to Ariana Grande, and then I watched that Wicked stuff, and then I watched CBS, and then I did this. So tomorrow I'm gonna get a pedicure. And tomorrow I'm going to go to the JFK Jr. Lookalike contest. So, yeah. Bye.